Hello.
Hi, everyone, and happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day. So grateful to be doing this and excited that we're actually starting this kind of like on Women's Month. Pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Let's see where Bobbi is. So welcome for those of you joining Minding Your Business or Minding My Business, right? Minding My Business, where we created this platform for women who are wanting to elevate their mind, their business, and their life. And then ultimately, Daniela says your bank account too. I'm in agreement with her on that. Let's invite Bobbi. Let me see where she's at. Okay, so I just invited her. All right, so grab your tea. We've got some really cool things to discuss. How are you doing?
Tired. Tired, no excuses.
We just show up. That's what this show's about.
Exactly. Every ounce in my body this morning was like, just sleep, stay in, stand. But I don't understand.
Hi.
That won't be okay.
No. Hold on. Wait, I have to invite you. Go into my live stream and I'll invite you in the live stream. All right, go into my live. Hi. Hi. All right, so hop out of here. Can't wait to see you in there and join my live stream. All right, bye. Hello, you there?
I'm here.
She clicked in a different way. So perfect. The show will go on. She clicked in through calling me. So we're going to wait for her to come on here. So let's tell her to join the Instagram live. All right. Let's see. This is exciting. And then let's see when she pops on here. What are you up to today?
Just working, Kenya.
I think she's supposed to come on through here. I don't know if she knows how to get on here. But Bobbi is an international, oh, here she is. Okay, got you. Let me, All right, Bobbi, I think you can just hit the button to join live. And
it says send request on our end.
We do? Okay, send her a request. My phone's acting all weird. Oh, here we go. You request. Okay, got you. We just added you. You should be able. Yay! Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties on my end.
Don't worry about it. We get it done. You're here. That's all that
Danielle, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Forgive me for having did a follow yet, but I will as soon as I get the phone back from my child's hand. Half the time I'm like, can you please have my phone back?
I know the feeling. Trust me. I know.
Well, T, thank you for throwing this. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, Danielle and I started the Minding My Business. You're our first guest. I'm so excited. And Bobbi literally was my like Instagram crush. I met you at Thrive and we were like besties right away. I was like,
even before I met you in person, can I tell you, I have such a great affinity for redheads for some reason. I think they're such a rare breed, whether it's natural or not. That's not the point, but
it's natural.
I was like, oh, I see red, but in a positive way. So I was like, I'm obsessed with this girl. And then I meet her in person. I'm like, oh my God, you inspire me so much, especially after the pandemic to, you know, her eyes just light up, right? Even before she says a word, it truly is like her energy just lights up the room. And I was like, and she's in great shape. And I'm thinking, okay, I had a baby during the pandemic and she looks like this. And I was like, okay, she's inspired me. And I told her the other day, I said, I just bought a bike because of you. I'm like, so back on it. Yeah. So, thank you for being my redhead. I love it.
I'll be everybody's redhead. Just, as long as it doesn't compromise my integrity. But
I love
thank
it.
you so much for being on here today. This show was inspired for women that want to really elevate their mindset, their business, and their lifestyle. And, Bobbi, I know you're a new mom and you've done amazing things for yourself. You've built yourself up. You surrounded yourself with amazing people, but that's because of who you had to become in order to attract that. So, kudos to you. And the thing I think we want to start with is just, we want to know, like, how do you just handle life when life seems to be, not so nice to you? Like, what are some of the tools you use to keep yourself up and running and super positive and productive and efficient and just an amazing, strong woman?
I think that's a great question. And thank you for the acknowledgement on my achievements. And let me just tell you, I think my purpose is what I have to remind myself of all the time. And I know this sounds very cliche, but fake it, right? So fake the smile and eventually you'll have a reason to smile. Truly. So the days that, like today where I wanted to be in the office and show you my team and what we're working on and what have you, all of a sudden we have this plumbing problem at home and I have to wait for the plumber and things like this. So, but I have to remind myself, I was like, I have this phone call on Women's International Month. So my contribution to women and everything that women endured in the past, and the fact that the future is truly female, right? And every successful man will acknowledge the woman beside him or behind him in terms of success. So the days that, to go back to your question, the days that I feel a little sluggish or, mishaps like today would come up, I have to remind myself of my purpose and my current purpose. And, I'll just cap up everything I've done very quickly. That I was a celebrity makeup artist for so many years, and then Versace hired me to relaunch their cosmetic line. And from there, recession hit and asked me to stay in their fashion sector. So I stayed in fashion for another decade and became a sales trainer for those monster companies like Dolce & Gabbana and Chanel and what have you. And I was on a call 2 days ago and I was explaining I say kids because that's really the majority of who's in the NFT industry. And that's what the call was all about. It was NFTs and what have you. And they asked me, they said, what are your thoughts about it? And I said, I love art, period. Anyone who has an ounce of artistic ability, I absolutely admire, whether you like the art or not. And I said, but when it comes to NFTs, the secret of NFTs, it's not so much about the art, because people will say, why does this cost so many millions of dollars, right? When it doesn't look like anything. And their reasoning behind it, it's the utility and the community. Well, I'm watching communities, once they build up this art or the community, what they call rug pull people, right? So a handful of people or a small group will make so much money and then bounce and leave everybody else low and dry. And I'm thinking, this is my take on NFTs, is that once it becomes a true community and a true utility sector, that's when I probably will do more investing in it. But as of now, it saddens me to see relationships being cultivated just so they can, what we would call in the real life, backstab each other, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, join you guys, girls, women, join my group. This is such a great community and everybody's excited and they put in time, invest time and money into it just so I can turn around and now you're no longer in my group. I said, this is not what life is about. And I said, maybe because you guys are young and still don't understand that cultivating relationships is what made most successful people successful.
100%.
100%, to the point where I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Danielle. Please shout over me because in case you're wanting to say something.
I was agreeing with you that your network is definitely your net worth.
100%. And let me tell you, I took such pride, and I thought it was such a compliment when I got a raise at work, or I thought it was the biggest compliment of my life, I was literally at Dolce & Gabbana when the president of Gucci, whom I've never met, calls as a client so that the call comes through and says, "Are you Bobbi?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "I would like to offer you a position within our company." He goes, "We've never met. I've never looked at your CV, but I've heard so much about you. I'd love to have you on our team." At that point, I turned it down because I was new at the company I was with. But years later, so I thought that was a great compliment to my hard work, right? Until clients started asking me to come and run their companies as I was running those monster companies. But when I got into that position, I thought, just when I thought, God, I hit the glass ceiling in compliments, the clients that hired me to run their companies offered me partnership within their companies, you know? So, and even my girlfriend, Elena Cardone, would say, "Bobbi, let's do a show together. Let's do something together." You know, so the fact that people that I cultivated great relationships with would try to think of something to keep me on board, right? I think that was my biggest success until very recently. I want to say a few months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I have a girlfriend of mine who's a part of the Wells Fargo family, and she, in front of my husband, started this new business and said, "Out of everybody I know, Bobbi is the only person that I asked to partner up with me and turn me down." So just imagine the people that we know, right? Everybody that you know, this is the one person you ask. And it told me that I did a great job building a relationship with this person as well, right? So I take such pride in building relationships, and people will find a way to help you when they know you're an ethical and honest and a hardworking person, right? And my biggest purpose has always been, how do I help others achieve their dreams or their goals? And that's where I stand today. You know, my husband and I are in the CBD business, and it really is. And I'm so happy that people are standing up against pharma. And our mission is not to say pharma is bad, go holistic, because conventional medicine sometimes is necessary and does work. But we're just pushing, and my husband has been for 7 years, a holistic alternative, right, to what's out there. So, I'm helping him with his purpose, which is that, and I think it's a great mission in life, is how do I help people holistically become whole again, right? From the inside out. And I'm working on building my brand Bodella, and it has 2 sectors to it. It is a holistic, for externally, right? Way we were talking about this.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. It's
I
a
have
great
one.
product line, but I'm also building a service. I want to help women that are tired of the status quo and want to learn a new skill in life, right? So I'm helping them. I went back to what my true passion is making women feel great again. And I now teach women how to do permanent makeup because it's a new venue, an opportunity. And there are many wonderful artists out there that are doing that. But what I love about my program, and this is why it's taking me a minute to launch it, is I'm building a business sector to it. So basically, it's okay. You learn the skill. I'm not leaving you stranded. I will help you from the ground up how to build the business. You know, I have a team that will do the website for you, that will help you establish business credit. We'll repair your personal credit if that's a problem as well. So it's a whole program. I'm not just going to teach you a skill and say, go out there and figure it out. You know, I have a team that will do the marketing for you, that will, you know, so it's a community. And that's what I want, is a community of women that don't know what they want to do, but want to become entrepreneurs, you know, that.
Let me ask you,
Yeah.
because there's so many amazing things that you're blessing the world with, and we're all so grateful. I mean, I don't come across many people, but now because I've become one, like a phenomenal human being, like I know that I've attracted phenomenal human beings, and everything I believe to be an extension of who we are when we do
100%.
I call this like minding my business. But what do you do like when you're in, because I get in it, so I know everybody does. And if you're helping so many people, like what do you do for yourself, like staying in your lane when you're in a yellow light? You're not like able to produce all these amazing things that you're doing, and everybody's so dependent on you. Like what tool do you use to get yourself back into like the green light, the thriving space?
Hand to God. I know this sounds crazy, but I have to
It doesn't.
continuously, especially with, now that I have a family, right? Being a single girl and out on a mission is so much easier. And I will take, being an entrepreneur and a businesswoman any day in terms of an obstacle, right? If someone says, which is a lighter load, being an entrepreneur is so much easier than being no, I don't want to say a housewife, but a mother and a wife. And, so now you're wearing more hats that now I'm responsible for other people's livelihood, right? So their problems now become my problems. My nanny, her husband needed surgery. Now I have to help her and work around her, mission in terms of, okay, what do we do to help her husband out? Whether it's my house, your team, now your team is, they're all a part of my family, because anyone that's going to help me get to my goal, I'm responsible for, right? And their livelihood is important to me. And what I do about that is throughout the day, I truly, and this is the crazy part, have to remind myself is, what am I grateful for right now? What's my mission? Who did I help today? If I could help one person, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to where I need to be, right? And that truly is what I have to do. And I get up in the morning and I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for, I remind myself, and I look out the window and I say, God, I'm so grateful that my family is healthy, that I'm healthy, that we're all doing well, that I have a roof over my head, that we have food on the table, I have somewhere to go today, the fact that,
when you always, because I'm being real, I like to be really real.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm not saying anything about anybody else, but sometimes I'll say gratitude and I'll get more angry. Do you ever wait to get out of bed until you start to tap into really feeling that appreciation? Because sometimes we say things and we're in such a space maybe where you won't feel it at first. Or have you ever been there? Do you have a special prayer that you can share with people that actually works for you? I do, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. I forget what the name of that prayer is, but for whatever reason, saying the I thank you is it's a close. But do you have a special prayer? Because you mentioned prayer and gratitude.
I don't know if you said that you get angry sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's funny because
Daniela, do you get angry?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah, I want this to be real talk. I love that people are positive, but I'll be the first one to admit and be transparent. There's days where I'll try to get gratitude and it's just not happening. I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I need to process the emotion, and but what do you use or do you really just be oh yeah, I feel it, I feel the gratitude?
It's a reflect. You know what's so funny? Absolutely. And I'm hot-blooded, right? So I run hot. I run hot. Even my husband says, did you take your CBD today? You probably need a few doses more, right? Just so it can calm down and think. Because when you get in your feelings, that's Tim Grover said it best. He goes, every wrong decision we've ever made in life is because we were feeling, not thinking, right? And when I have to remind myself, why am I angry? I don't even care why. The true reason, the foundation of our anger is because we're not reaching our potential, right? And what is your potential today? You could have gone to the gym, but you didn't. So that escalated my anger. I could have gotten the car washed, but I didn't. Whatever it is. And procrastination is because of two reasons. It's either we don't know how or we don't know who, right? That could help us. So procrastination is I either don't know how to do it, so figure out someone that can teach me. And anger is derived from the fact that I didn't reach my potential. And I look at small goals, right? So yourself, it's great to have this great vision and I want to help the universe and every single woman on this planet. Domestic violence is such a problem for me. I grew up from, a domestic violent home and it was crazy. So it's my mission to build a home for the people that encounter domestic violence situations, mothers and children and what have you. And so I have this massive, massive goal. And what helps me throughout the day is I look at my husband and I'm like, okay, I found a partner that is on board with anything I do that is out to help people, right? He goes, honey, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Who can I connect you with? So finding the right partner, friends like you ladies, how do we put our voice out there so that other women and men can hear us? And how can we help everyone out there. So having the right group around me. So the anger part is because I didn't reach my potential. I call a friend like you, right? I stop and think, what can I do to make me feel better, to reach those small goal, the wins. Every win you have during the day is going to make you feel better. So whenever I get angry, I don't look at the person that cut me off or that yelled at the cashier in front of me and that was so rude and just put me in a mood, right? And I wanted to say something, but it didn't. So those are not my problem. Is I look at myself, why am I angry? What can I do to help the situation? Maybe I'm extra nice to the cashier that just got yelled at, right? So that makes her feel better, which makes me feel better in turn. So those are the things I do. I do small little wins when I'm angry because I know I didn't reach the potential of reaching my goal. That's why I get angry. Just like hate. Why do we hate on someone? And hate doesn't mean I wish her death. Hate is because you're doing something that I want to do but haven't done it yet.
Yeah, jealousy.
Right?
Yeah, and then the opposite of jealousy is admiration. Wow, somebody else is doing it. Let me learn from her.
Absolutely.
I admire you. Let me learn from you. You're doing something, like you paved a way. Something I learned in the Yoga Sutras is they were saying, I learned from one of the guys I take yoga with, he goes, anger is pent up passion. Like you're saying, like you have so much passion, energy. Maybe there's frustration because you haven't figured out how to like create whatever you're trying to create, or like yourself, like you have such a big vision. Daniela has such a big vision in life that like, how do you compartmentalize it into like a daily thing?
Right.
And then on that note, Bobbi, I wanted to ask, so with so much going on, how did you come up with the idea of not only teaching the permanent makeup, but also taking on that big commitment to teach women how to run the business? Because me personally, that was my first entrepreneurship, was permanent makeup. A lot of people don't know that, but I did microblading, eyeliner, lip liner.
No way.
Yeah. But
okay, I'm seeing you for my touch-ups.
Yeah. But like you said, in the business, they don't teach you what it is to run a business. They just teach you, okay, so this is how you, do eyeliner. This is how you do microblading. This is how you do blush. This is how you do this and that. But they don't teach you what the core business is, how it is to get that clientele, how it is to get that bag, because that's why women go into different industries, is to get themselves out of a certain situation, for them to grow, for them to be successful in their own lane. How is it that you came about wanting to take an individual from point A to point B?
I love you for asking me that, because I was just like you. We learn a skill, whatever it is, girls that do hair or whatever, or love yoga so much and don't know what to do with their passion for yoga. Yes, I want to teach yoga, for example, but where do I begin, right? And truly what I've encountered, Daniela, is the scarcity mindset more than support through life, right? It's a very small group, unfortunately, that are supportive, that will share their secrets or their tools. Everybody will tell you how they became successful. And I posted that meme recently, is everyone will tell you how all the wealth they have and all the success they've had, but no one will tell you the A to Z steps, right? Call Daniela for this, call T for that, call Bobbi for this, and has a program for you. They'll all say, this is how I did it, and this is what I have because of what I did. Well, how do I get there, right? And people are paying all this money and walking away calling Daniela a scammer because she didn't teach me how to do it. Well, Daniela isn't necessarily a scammer. Maybe she encountered 17 people to get to the one right person, but she didn't tell you that because it was a whole zigzaggy way of her to get there. But I put all the team together, they're all ethical people, the people that have been in their post for many, many years and successfully doing it. But to answer your questions, because I've been there where I learned a skill and didn't know where to go past it. And because I watch other entrepreneurs teaching skills, but nothing else. They'll say, this is what we do for marketing. You want to post this. This is what we do for to acquire licensing, but they leave you at that. Well, I'm going to show you and help you, not even show you, that this person will legitimately sit down with you weekly and walk through credit building, because business credit is completely different than personal credit. And I'm still learning this because of my team, right? And you don't know how to build a website? I don't know anything about technology. I come from a generation where, first of all, I studied biochemistry. So I was in lab in school all day, right? Calculators were not allowed in class, my generation. Hand to God. I remember in school, we had to get a card to use the internet and put money on the card to be able to use the internet. Well, as a student, you only have this much money, you know, like how much money can I possibly put on this card? And I would rather at that time buy music CDs, you know, for myself instead of play on the internet that I didn't understand anything about. So the whole technology, this internet and computer is completely foreign to me, and it still is not much of an interest in terms of what do I build a site, what do I put on the site, how do I go from year to year. So this team will build a site for you that will get you qualified with financial institutions for business credit. So it's unfortunately people. There are people that build great sites out there, but it's the basics that financial institutions look for that will get you denied. So then you have to wait time to fix it to be able to qualify for business, because those women that are learning new skills don't necessarily have the funds to build a business.
Yeah, that's why they're going out to do this. That's why they're going out to learn a new trade or whatever it might be. And that's amazing that you're doing that, honestly, because especially
Absolutely.
in the minority community, Latina myself, growing up, you know, I didn't have wealthy parents. So they don't talk to you about credit. They don't talk about how to get a loan. The importance of even a living will. Like that's one thing that we talked about with one of my girlfriends over the weekend was, you know, making sure that everyone around us had living wills, because just nobody knows what's going on. But these are things that aren't taught in school. They're not taught by family members that really haven't been there, done that. So it's amazing that your team is actually educating these women and empowering these women to be successful entrepreneurs and build their own empire. I love
And Daniela, I love the word education. Not only education, if you don't have the time to do it, they'll do it for you. They educate you with the process. So this is what we're doing next, Daniela. It's all, excuse me, verbiage with you on the phone weekly, and everything that was said to you on the phone, it's overwhelming for someone who doesn't know finance or marketing, right? They shoot you an email with everything that they're doing next. Then weekly, they call you in a week and say, this is what we discussed last week. This is what we crossed off the list. Then next week, it's another phone call. This is where we're heading. This is what we need to do, you know. And what you do as a client from your end is very minimal, honestly. They'll say, go open a bank account with this bank, go apply for this, stop this, you know, pay this off, you know. So because the business credit does reflect on your personal, but like I said, if your personal needs help, there's a part of the team does that as well. But I don't want to turn this into I don't want to confuse you and turn it into a whole credit repair situation. I just know that
I'm gonna
if
call
you need
you
help
about this.
Yeah.
right, just know if you need help there, I got you. I got you.
But it's good that you're touching on it, because I feel like a lot of especially my followers, you know, they come from the same background that I come from. You know, I didn't really come from much, so all these new things, you know, that we're talking about, we're giving exposure to somebody might be, oh, you know, that's just the boring stuff, but to others it's knowledge that
it's so important.
And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why we started Minding My Business, because we're not just touching on the business side of things, also the you know, spiritual and the education, mental, just we want to touch it all, because we want everyone to be well-rounded and give everybody the tools to go and exceed in their life.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And it's Daniela, to what you said, and T, I know you asked this, is how do you motivate yourself and what have you. You know, even though I have this great mission, even though I have this great team and my goal, and I have great products, the fact that I needed to get a bike because internally I wasn't feeling great, right? To physically wasn't feeling great. And I looked at exercise, sorry for the pause, I have to think of the right word. I looked at exercise as a form of, that's my form of meditation, right? Because I don't know how to sit still. So it's my form of meditation in terms of shut everything down for an hour, you know, do what I have to do, sweat all this toxins and negative thoughts and anger out, right? And I look in the mirror 3 months later, and the byproduct was, hey, I'm in shape. I look great. I can actually get in a bathing suit and not be so embarrassed, right? And so the fact that the only thing you can balance, and people ask, how does anyone balance life? The only thing you can balance in life is yourself, right? Is you can't balance anything else, but the foundation of your life is you. And if that foundation is solid and balanced, everything else will fall into place, right? What doesn't belong there will fall out. What belongs there will come in or stay. So make time to exercise, and it has nothing to do with getting rid of your belly or the cellulite or any of that, you know.
That's the bonus.
Absolutely, because you know, watching what, believe me, I still eat out of the Nutella jar, you know. It's, if I need it, I'm going to go after it, right? But I do something to compensate, you know. Then I'll spend an hour and a half or 2 hours running or pushing the stroller for half an hour, you know, or something. Just do something to compensate, because that instant gratification never pays off. Whether it's, I don't know if you guys did this, partying back in the day, you know, taking the hit of joint or something because of the instant gratification. You just want to escape reality for a minute.
Girl, addiction, like, I get it. I came from substance abuse. I think everybody to some degree uses some type of substance to cope, but I want to add even what Daniela was saying, because like my dad, and what you're both saying is, my dad had built a very successful construction business. So we were like the children of what you guys have built. And then because they weren't taking care of themselves, my parents, my dad used substance abuse after major spine surgery, that he had to have spine surgery, and lost everything. Even growing up with money, because I grew up with money, went to private schools, I played travel ice hockey, we still weren't educated on anything with finances. So even there are people out there that do have money that have no education on managing money, making money, how to save money, nothing about any of that. So it's not even just people that had nothing, it's even people that might have had something, but they can't even sustain it. You know,
true.
Then you have people that build companies and they lose everything because they're not taking care of themselves. So I think it's just coming together as a collective, and this is a time of unity where we're there, you know, and that's why we wanted to have you on, Danielle and I wanted to create this, because, you know, the world really needs solutions right now and tools to help them maybe just figure out how to get up. Because I know you mentioned, Bobbi, earlier about procrastination, and one thing is just learning how to do it.
Right. Yeah, I truly believe that procrastination stems from, I don't know how, so I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Right. Or I don't like doing it, so that instead of getting someone else to do it for you, so that you're not stuck in that position, then nothing gets done. You don't want to pay the extra person to do it, or whatever it is. So it's, I don't want to do it, or I don't know how to do it, is a huge part of our problem.
Hey, it's Tanya. I'm calling a quick timeout intermission huddle, so bring it in. I'm personally inviting you to our inner circle. It's our monthly VIP meetup with other achievers just like us. Each week, I'm teaching everything you're going to need in order to be successful, to step into the most elite version of yourself. I'm going to break this down play by play, the tools, the systems, the strategies, everything you're going to need in order to operate at higher levels mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Look, we're in a season where the idea of full potential just isn't cutting it anymore. It's time to really be it now. So click the link in the show notes, and I'll see you in the inner circle. Peace. And what do you feel some other, like, I guess, impactful tools that you turn to? Because the main concept of the show is like minding our business. How are you creating such a successful lane for yourself? You mentioned like having strong support and the right people in the right place and serving others, but how are you able to like just keep focused, mind your business with like so many things pulling at your attention, especially as you started to climb to such successful levels in your career and in your life?
collaboration. So not only every relationship I build has never been hasn't been for the last, I want to say at least decade, transactional. And you learn that with age. I guess it took me a minute to learn, not just build a relationship with you and then, okay, we reached our goal, okay, goodbye, let's go our separate ways. It's let's separate for a minute, divide and conquer, right? So now you and I are a team, and you go and meet Daniela, and then I go and meet Susie Q. Then we retrieve and we introduce Daniela to Susie Q. So it's collaborating with more and more people that have the same passion, not necessarily the same goal, but we know we can help one another by bringing people together, right? So growing our circle, I truly believe that the biggest crime in life is poverty. And I have a friend who believes that we're in our lifetime, we're going to hit another pandemic. There was suicide during the pandemic has increased. Domestic violence has increased. People lost literally their minds. Now they're on medication because of this pandemic. And that's because they needed a source of life, and work is life, right? And it doesn't have to be monetary work. Just the fact that you're doing something, creating and moving on, because life was going on, even though we were at pause, prices were going up. Life was still moving. The days were still passing. And the fact that poverty is still a problem in our society drives me nuts. And that's the reason crime is here. People are in need to steal or kill to eat or feed their families, right? And imagine this, if we all come together and teach people how they can survive without having to commit crime to survive, you can now sleep with your door unlocked, right? You don't have to worry about someone breaking in. People started to become afraid of their neighbors during the pandemic. Weapons are all of a sudden now is a pro thing. And listen, I'm not against arms at all, having a weapon whatsoever. I'm not against it, but now it's a necessity. It should never be a necessity. It's great to have if something happens and you need to protect your family, but the fact that you're afraid someone's going to break in to steal your food because the shelves are out of food, right? So instead of uniting, and that's a huge thing for me, is growing a community that isn't in a poverty mindset and a scarcity mindset is huge. It's huge for our society and for the next generations that we're building. Why do we have kids?
Once that community is built, when somebody does go into that scarcity mindset, then the rest of the community is able to pull down and pull them back.
100%.
I love it, because that's actually how we came up with our mastermind. Is more like a brothership, collective greatness. Is we were just going into our new business, and with us not really knowing much, we found other like-minded individuals, just like you said, that we had knowledge, they had knowledge, we all come together, and then we just grow together. So I love it. Being able to hang around with like-minded individuals, it's always going to help you elevate, not just by collaborating together, but also the conversations you have. It's just, you're at a different place when you're going through that journey of growth. So being able to find somebody that you're able to talk to and exchange value with is always just a plus.
It's not so scary when you're with someone, right?
Yeah.
Opposed to you're alone. Going on a hike without, let's say, T here would be scary, because she's gutsier than I am. She's more in shape. I know if I go with her,
you don't want to go on a hike with me. I'm afraid of heights.
But it wouldn't be so scary.
I needed support.
But here's the thing, it wouldn't be so scary. You wouldn't be so scared of heights if you were between Daniela and I, right? Holding your hands and going through that bridge. It wouldn't be as scary. So having that support team is so important, because it's not as hard anymore. Hey, Rock is on here. Rock is an incredible woman. She is one of us in terms of her network is great. So if you ever need marketing, she's the girl to go to. Thank you for joining us, Rock. But yeah, I agree. I think building a community, I'd love to know more about this mastermind that you guys are having. And minding your business is like the best business you could have. So what a great title for your show. It's,
and we want to host in August. We wanted to host like a retreat for women in Sedona. and
Wow.
to create a space for us to actually come together and to do like different types of exercises, and not just like physical exercise, but like mental, like emotional intelligence, of course the physical, because the physical is what also helps us tremendously with the mental and the emotional, and of course like operating at higher levels of consciousness.
Oh, sign me up. I would love to be there. I think
Perfect. We would love
that's
to
a
have you.
great cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great cause. And I'll bring the Bodella collection. Hopefully by then it's completed. It's all about crystals and healing oils.
Love
We use
it.
premium essential oils. So let's go back to real life, right? What this ground and what we're blessed with. And I know this sounds so funny, but there's a song that I sing to my child, and it's, to be honest, I sing it to myself, for myself, to my kid, and it's about God, Armstrong. He sings it, that life is wonderful, right? So I look out and I think, the song says, you know, the trees are green and the flowers are blooming just for me, and the sky is blue and the clouds are white just for you, right? Isn't life wonderful? So I think of that, is that you look outside the window and you think, oh, all that was giving to you, to you. So why not be grateful for what's out there and then work on that, right? Work on yourself after you look out and realize you were blessed with all of this, with all the people that are out there. They were all giving to you. So now it's up to me to take care of it and cultivate it and build something with it, right? So what am I going to do with all of that? I'm going to water it, nurture it. And I'm talking about humans too. You know, people come to your life for a reason. It's either a reason just to say hello and goodbye, or to build something together. So I sing that to my child, and because, you know, I think I had a kid this late in life for a reason too, and he's reminding me of all the blessings that I forgot about, really, and neglect, because I'm such on a mission. It's like, I have to do this by 5 o'clock. I have to do this by 2 o'clock. And when he cries and I have to sing him that song, it's a pause, right? A pause to be grateful, and a reminder of all the blessings that I have and the people that, you know, that I have in my circle, like you ladies, and the opportunity of this hour that we're here together now. It's going on, yeah, an hour. I was like, going on 2. Wait. And the people that we're connected with. I hope that you gained a few followers from my end that didn't know about you and now do. And I hope they gained a tremendous amount of wealth from your end too. You know, knowledge is wealth, because with knowledge we create the life we want, right? It goes back to education, Daniela. You know, educate yourself.
So, Bobbi, I also wanted to ask, with you being such a boss woman, how do you balance your home life and your work life? I know you're a mother. I'm a mother as well, a wife, and how you were saying earlier that, you know, you're in charge of these people. You know, it's while you're trying to reach your goal, you still have to nurture your baby. You still have to give attention to your husband. How is it that you're able to balance being such a boss woman with your home life?
Getting everybody on the same team and the same goal, you know, like we're out there to, I tell my child, okay, mommy has to go to work. I see parents say goodbye to their kids. I'm going to work now. No, I say, you have to get mommy out of the house. So then all of a sudden the kid now is pushing you, mommy, you got to go. You got to go. Now he's on the same mission as you, right? So I don't say goodbye. I say, I need your help leaving the house. So all of a sudden now the kids have your shoes by the door, have the bag by the door. Mommy, do you have your water? You know what I mean? So now the nanny is doing the same thing, helping you leave.
It's hard. Like today, I actually was talking to Tanya this morning. I was literally working in bed. My daughter, you know, had the stomach virus all night. So every ounce of me just wanted to stay home and cuddle her. I saw her doing better and wanting to go outside and play. You know, then I was able to switch hats, and that entrepreneur hat came on and was like, okay, so your home is good, your child is good, now go conquer the world.
I love that.
Go make those changes you want to make.
I love that. And I don't have like dad or, you know, my husband, I never say, get off the phone. What are you doing? And he's on the computer day in and day out. He takes on so many projects and people and what have you. And I let him do, because I know what he's doing is for the greater good, right? It is for the family. It is for our circle. It is for our mission, even though his mission is slightly different, but our end goal is the same. So I don't say daddy is working. That's why he's not paying attention to you, or, you know, oh, daddy's working, that's why he can't be at the ball game or a birthday or what have you. There's none of that. There's no segregation. There is no blame. There's none of that. We're all having to do different things because we all have the same goal, the big picture. At the end of the night, we're all together, you know, for a few minutes, we hug and kiss and do whatever we have to do. But there is no, can you please put your phone down? Can you put your computer down? Can you come home? There's none of that. Everybody has a goal, and we're all doing this together. It's like, okay, it's not mommy has to do this, like I need your help so mommy can do this. So now all of a sudden they're a part of this project, you know. Or my husband, I say to my husband and say, you know, I have a call at 11, I need your help, right? Everybody wants to help somehow, instead of saying
them on so that they feel like they're a key part as well, and they're
yes,
doing it together with you.
yes.
I love that. I've never thought that.
I never say I need silence. Absolutely, bring them together. I never say I need it quiet for an hour. Well, what, it sounds so segregated, right? It's like, so you want me away from you? No, I don't want you away, right? I need your help. I have a call at 11. Great. What do you need me to do? Can we maybe turn off the TV for an hour? Can you maybe get on the phone in a different room? You know, now he's asking, what do you want me to do? Instead of saying, I need it quiet, please. I have a meeting. You know, it's so seclusive. It's like, oh, she needs to do this and wants me away from her. No, I need your help. I have this to do. So then all of a sudden they say, how can I help? Right? So yeah, absolutely. Include everybody in the circle. You know, I don't tell my mom, when I say nanny, it could be, I have my aunt now helping me, right? So it'd be my mother, my aunt, anybody. So I ask them, like, I get up extra early or whatever time. If I know I have an 11 o'clock, mind your own business, right? I get up extra early and say, let me make you breakfast. You know, I'll make her breakfast. Like, now that's out of the way, right? Do you want to run up and take a shower? You know, I have this thing to do at 11. And she'll be like, absolutely. Let me run and do this. Or you take care of that. I'll take care of this. So we conquer and divide and conquer. So we divide what needs to be done.
Turning on how I'm going to implement that at home. Honestly.
You will find the dynamic at home to be more positive, more happy. Everybody's now, and can I tell you, Daniela, mark my words, in a week you and I will circle back and they're going to come back and say, what else can I do? What else can I do? Right? Everybody wants to take on more responsibilities because the sense of gratification of those little goals they achieved gives them self-confidence to take on more. And this is why small goals are so important, is to not only for yourself, but divide your to-do list on the people around you. And now you just gave them little goals to achieve, which will, so their self-confidence makes you feel like you can take on more so that you can pass on more. Everybody wants to do more, I promise you. And you're going to love it. You're going to, people, you know, your kids are going to come. Is it one daughter that you have?
So I have 3 children.
I love it.
7, 9, and then 2. But my 2 oldest are the ones that are feeling it a bit more. You know, my husband and I, we run a real estate investing company together. So it's not just him having to leave the home, it's myself as well. Because like you said, we divide and conquer within our business. So I see how it affects the children a bit. So that's always my biggest question when I speak to other boss women like yourself. And I like to emphasize that the boss, just because that's what it is. It takes a certain type of person to elevate and take charge of their life, take charge of everything around them. So that's always the biggest question that I love to ask. And I really thank you for that insight, because
my pleasure. And can I tell you, Daniela, what I would do, honestly, if I had kids your age, and even that many, I wish I had 3 children. So when 2 fight, there's always a mediator, right? Other than you. What I would do is get them involved, right? So let's say they can't be in the camera right now. I would hand them a phone and say, can you record this for mommy? Let's, you know, give them that. And then after this meeting, I would get them involved in, how did mommy do? What do you think I could have done differently, right? Better, or just so that you can understand their mindset. They're using a different part of their brain in terms of, okay, let me help, they're not playing anymore, or they're not drawing
teaching
anymore.
them for their future when they take on their entrepreneurship, when they start doing what they want to do. Maybe they, they don't want to be entrepreneurs and they want to, be a lawyer or something. They're still using, like you said, that part of the brain that's making them think outside the box.
Right.
And
because of what you have to do
without them feeling it's an actual lesson.
Absolutely. Get everybody involved. Your team. Who is your team at home? It's your kids, it's your husband, it's your nanny, it's your housekeeper, it's whatever. Get them involved. They'll love it because they're doing something out of the mundane things they're doing every day, right? Even if it's house chores, it's, mommy needs to clean this room but can't get to it because she has to do this. Do you think you can help mommy out? You know what I mean? And so they're happy to do it, and it doesn't feel like a chore anymore, right? Or a duty. It's, I'm going to help mommy achieve this goal. We have to win. Our mission is to win, and let's win together. Mommy needs your help to win. We're a team. We're a team. And having kids, it's so incredible. And it's so much easier when you get them involved to educate than actually sit them down and this is what needs to be said. This is what needs to be done, right? For you to become a great individual for society. They don't really register until they observe. So when they see the way you communicate with others, they're going to mimic, how you greet someone or say no to someone, right? That's the best form of education is observation and leading by example than just communicating. I have a stepson who's turning 18 soon, and I realized that telling him is one thing and having him watch me do it is another. And I don't say watch me do it. I get him to attend. Oh, T met him. You met him at the Thrive event. So bringing him to those events with us, he's obviously old enough, older than your children, to bring along and have him observe, and throwing him in the mix of a great group of people and have him go introduce yourself now, and I remember say hello. Well, instead of saying go say hello, watch me. I don't even say watch me. I then take initiative and educate him on how does Bobbi say hello? How does Dad say hello? What's more effective for me? Then their brain starts to work. But yeah, getting them involved, drag them along. When they're old enough to not have to strap them in a seat and be quiet, or run out on the street without a leash. I would take them. I would honestly take them with you, Danielle. I would take them to your real estate business and to open houses. And why not? People actually think it's endearing that she's educating this kid. You're not taking them as a babysitter because they're self-maintained, right? I would take them as a partner. This is my partner. Introduce them as your partner instead of your child. This is my partners. You know what I mean? They're here to help me show you this home, And so I think having them work in the home and outside the home it's very important. Work is very important.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You give people like a role so they feel like they're needed. And I think that's definitely a huge part of behavior, is to feel important. Like we have, yeah. And like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. Feel like we're needed and we can help, that we can actually help, because when you're of service, it takes the energy out of you. Even if you're like if you're talking about children in suicide or depression and anxiety, and even adults too, like when you actually help somebody else and mean it and do it with like pure intention, you actually are healing yourself. You feel better.
You gave me chills.
Yourself.
Yeah. You definitely gave me chills.
Great to teach the kids that stuff because they need it right now, especially like their generation. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? We have like maybe 10 minutes. If anybody has any questions, we can even have somebody come up. We can have up to 4 people on the live stream. I know there's a few people watching. Any questions that you have for Bobbi?
Everybody. Well, on a great note, I don't know if anybody is new on live or not. I'd love to be a part of your August retreat. I think it's so great. And to tap into what you just said, T, doing something intentional from the heart in terms of service it's I always say don't underestimate your audience, you know, their intelligence. Don't underestimate them. People can sense, even if they did not know you as a person, they can sense whether you're being genuine or not. And this always went back to when I was teaching people how to sell, right? Sales. And sales is so easy. It's all about being at service and building a relationship, right? What would you advise a friend? So I looked at every client that walked through the door as a friend. What would I say to that friend? Would I tell them to buy something that wasn't necessary or that they were in dire need of? Probably not. I'll say, are you certain you want this? Or if it's just out of pleasure that they wanted to purchase, I'll say, great. What would bring you the greatest pleasure? Right? Even upselling, that was an easy thing because the greatest pleasure would be to have this, but I can only afford this. Then I think, okay, how can we work together to get you what would give you the greatest pleasure? Because buying those little things that give you small pleasures just because you can't have that greatest pleasure is, well, I can probably use this credit card and pay, you know what I mean? So you become creatively a creative thinker in terms of acquiring the greatest pleasure so that you're not buying small little things where you could have just not purchased those little things and then for a little while and then bought the one that's going to make you happy for a year instead of just a month, right?
Like
so
settling for this small
exactly. And that's exactly what it was. So yes, I was #1 in sales, and this is why I was placed in a post where every company wanted me to educate people how to sell, but that's because I was genuine, where I was willing to lose those 5 sales to sell that one big sale because I truly helped someone get to that big sale. It wasn't because, you know, I had the greatest clients or what have you. As a matter of fact, the president of Dolce & Gabbana flew out and said, can I see your client book? And I said, here it is. It literally was 2 pages. And he said, can I ask you how you sold as much in 9 months as the people that have been here for 25 years with those 2 pages? I said, because I care about the people I was selling to. It's not because I came in with this great book. I cultivated those clients from just being there, right? But that's truly what it was, is that I cared about the person that was buying the item, not so much about selling the item and the whole transactional relationship building, right? So, and I remember when I moved from one house to another, so from Dolce to, let's say, Chanel, the Dolce client isn't necessarily always a Chanel client, right? And so they would still come in and say, let me see what I can buy from you, because now they felt the sense of obligation to me, right? Is how can I help you do well in your new home? And that's what I admired about my clients, is they cared about me as I cared about them. And, you know, to be invited to their children's birthday or their wedding anniversaries and those things made me care even more for them or anyone that they sent your way. So it goes back to build a relationship, be ethical, to your point, give, back to your point, as give, being genuine with nothing in return. And life is fair. For those that believe that life isn't fair, it always comes back from a different avenue, right? So I truly believe that life is fair. I'm a victor, not a victim of any situation. Even if I was mistreated and you truly are a victim in that situation, I think of it as, I'm going to be, what can I do for myself that's going to get me out of that anger moment that we were talking about, right? Or hate moment that we were discussing earlier. So always think, I'm going to be a victor out of the situation, not, oh, woe me. No one wants to be around a miserable person or someone that's feeling down, right?
Well,
so
mentality.
Absolutely. I'm a winner. How can I come out of this situation as a winner, even if you're at loss? We've all given friends money that disappeared out of our life and no longer are there because they don't want, look at Tia, I could see the grind in your teeth. It's true. So it's like, what can I tell you? And I'm positive you're going to agree with me, is it's not about the money. It's the fact that I lost a friend is what broke my heart.
It's
right?
Well, that counts.
Right. It's like, did you really value that amount of money more than our friendship? I would rather say, can I borrow $1,000? And, you know, every now and then, so I don't feel like I was taken advantage of. Like, Bobbi, I just want you to know I didn't forget about the money I borrowed. I just don't have it yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you feel
absolutely.
betrayal. You feel
Right.
betrayal, and you feel, yeah, you just feel betrayed. And
Absolutely.
but that goes back to what you're saying. Something that I like maybe a year ago, I finally understood the concept, and I'm going to share this with you because I thought it was so powerful. Was the true difference between victim consciousness and the victor consciousness. Victim consciousness is saying like, this has happened to me, and that's an energy that means there's nothing you can do about it. But as creators and humans and problem solvers, the victor consciousness is that I don't know how this happened to me, and I don't know how I created it or allowed it to happen to me. However, I take personal responsibility, and I know that if I did this, then I can create something else. So it's an energy of empowerment versus like disempowerment. And when I learned that, it was like a game changer, because it's more of just about the energy that I can change my mind and I can create something the complete opposite of this horrible mess right now.
I love that. I love that. And it's just self-awareness and a reminder, right? And having a group of friends around you that you can share this with and can make you aware. Because sometimes when you're in your head, you can't think of, okay, did I do something wrong? Should I have done it differently? You know, and I've been repeatedly, mind you, make sometimes the same mistakes, you know, lend people money that just disappear. And I'm thinking, I love this person. Why would I not want this person in my life? But I did the right thing. So if they want to circle back, that's great. And believe me, I reached back without any intention of, or reminder, hey, you owe me, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. Deep down inside, I'm hoping this person says, hey, I just want you to know I'm not ignoring this elephant in the room, but I cannot. And I would by all means never ask for it back, because if you can't, that means you can't, period. But I don't want you out of my life, right? And this is why I helped you out. But it's very hurtful. And, you know, does hurt subside, especially when it's a dear, dear friend? I don't know. I think you become almost like death. When people say, you know, time heals all wounds, I believe that you become so familiar to that pain that it's not as painful, not because time has passed. I don't think time makes, at least my pain for a loss of anything, a friend or a family, or whether it's death or just falling out, right? I don't think time makes it easier. I think that pain becomes familiar, so it doesn't hurt as bad anymore. And there's always hope that that friend always returns, especially if you guys had a great relationship and the falling out was over something minute. But then I think, well, if it's such a silly reason to have that falling out, that if we were really good friends, then that friend would not leave, right? And would try also to work on rebuilding than having that distance. But you know, in turn, what I view is I'm wasting my energy and time and mind on not building and cultivating even better relationships, because I'm wiser, more educated, more well equipped with new women that are willing to work things out if there is a falling out, right? So that's how I look at it, is that was just an immature relationship. It was a fun ride, and if they circle back, that's wonderful. But now I'm in a better equipped position in life, that I've built even stronger relationship. And it has nothing to do with time. You know, men have the tendency to say, this is my friend of 20 years. Well, we all know that a woman can come into your life in a matter of 2 weeks, can contribute more for you than this person that's been there for 2 years. So it really, time has nothing to do with it. It's how mature, how educated, and how well equipped this person that just entered your life is. Right? So it really has nothing to do with time. You know, I've been friends with T for so long, but you know, she's been, I'm not going, this is no exaggeration, she's been more of a true friend than some of the friends that I've been friends with, because she continuously, I've never seen anyone in most of my life that continuously say, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? You know, most of your friends will say, including me, is there anything I can do for you? And then we get so busy.
It was like just years of like popping in a month, 3 months later,
right,
5 months later.
Right.
But
Right.
I had a meditation the other day because there's a lot of, I'm doing forgiveness work myself of things that, you know, we can say we want to forgive, but it's a sensation inside of us. And I've been doing a lot of prayer meditation on it. And one thing that I had a download on the other day with my meditation was actually 2 days ago, was that the strongest people in the world, I feel, are the ones that can keep their hearts open under all of the amount of like things that people have done to them or life circumstances that might have been the worst things in the world. And for you to still be able to keep your heart open and be a kind human being and to still want to help other people and serve, I just feel like they're just some of the strongest people in the world, you know, just
100%.
and so
100%.
I had that realization because, like, literally, I heard God talk to me, keep your heart open. Sometimes I'm like, is it sometimes easier to go numb? But I know that would never be the case. So, like, I asked that. Like, that's where my mind went. And then it's like, always keep your heart open. Like, okay.
No, it's true. Let me tell you, my husband is a huge personality, right? And he gets attacked so much, especially on social media, because he's on there more often. And it's funny because if you know him offline, he's the best friend that everybody wants to have, right? He does not stand for injustice.
Yeah.
Especially, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a friend or a complete stranger. If he sees injustice, he will stand up for you. He will back you out of the way. He will take the hits for you. He doesn't care. He's the best friend truly that everybody wants to have. And he gets attacked because of his personality or his opinions and what have you. And
or a level of success. He's built it. You guys have built it, you know.
Absolutely. And it hurts me because
admired.
absolutely. But when he gets off online and you can see the hurt in his voice and his face, and he goes, I don't understand why they hate me so much, or that one person, right? And I'm thinking, God, Joe, you have such a great following that people have tattooed his face, his name, everything on their bodies. And I'm not saying go out and do that. I don't think that's the only form of love that you can show. But I'm just saying you're so fixated on that one person, right? That you're and he's in his head and his feelings, and because he's such an affectionate person, right? So it takes him a minute to disconnect from that or snap out of it, and he'll reach out to you and he'll say, is there a problem? Is there a reason? Did I say something or do something that hurt you, that you feel this sense of anger towards me? And I think that's very honorable that he even takes the time to do that. Whereas I truly said to him, I said, what I would do is, especially when it's white noise like that, there is no merit behind the hate and what they're doing and saying, is if T says to me, you know, I can't be friends with you because Daniela said A, B, and C about you. And I'm thinking, I'm at a point in my life where I don't even entertain that. I say, T, I completely understand your feelings. I completely understand your thoughts. And that's absolutely fine if you don't want to take the time to get to know what my contribution for you and others, you know, is. So that's completely fine. I'm not going to disregard her feelings, right? She has her own feelings, and I'm not going to negate what Daniela said to you either. I'm not going to say, well, she's a liar. Where did she look? Check your sources. You know, I used to do that. It's like,
you're not division because it has nothing to do with you.
Right. I just think if the person is that short-sighted to believe without knowing on their own, you know, and doing their own investigation and research and what have you, then I don't have the time or energy. I would be cheating those that believe in me of my time and energy by trying to negate what Daniela said to you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. It's almost like,
yeah, I completely understand what you're saying.
Chase Hero is a friend of ours, and this was maybe 2 years ago that I asked him. I said, Chase, do you have any fun friends, right? Friends that you just shoot the shit with. It's not no one that you discuss growth with or opportunity or life, right, with. And he said to me, and this is where I took those words from, he said to me, Bobbi, I would be cheating my wife and my children by having fun friends. I would rather give that time to my family, because most of my time is at work, that if I even gave that cheat friend, right, that you're cheating on your loved ones by having fun friends. if those friends were, especially at this point in our life, is when you have a family and a purpose, right? If those people were good people, then they would be on the same mission as you in terms of how can we help you, because we don't have a mission, right? How can we help you, my dear friend, achieve your goal, right? Especially those that don't care, I don't want to say don't care for people or others or having a goal, but don't really, I'm satisfied and content with my life. I have my bills paid. I have a great savings account. I travel when I want, but I don't really have this dire need to help a greater amount of people than just my small circle. But because you have a goal and I consider you to be a friend, how can I be an asset to you and your mission, right? Those are what I call true friends and fun friends, right?
You have
So
like there's a each person is in alignment to a bigger picture of their time on this in their
right.
life on earth. And it's I think when you think of the bigger things, you get caught up in little nitty-gritty drama, things that really don't make any sense a year from today.
Right. So the support role is equally as important. That's why when women say, oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mom or I'm a housewife, I'm thinking do you understand that support role that we all would die to have? We all as women would love a support role, right?
Yeah.
But we are trained to be that for our men and our families. It's to be the support role. And there's to say just is heartbreaking to me to hear a woman say that, because you're the purpose. You are creating and furthering our society. You're raising those kids to be of service to our community. So in your husband to reach his goal in whatever it is, whatever his goal is, right? To be, if your husband is a physician, then he's out serving people, so for you to take care of his home and stabilize his foundation so he's not too ill to come help me and my family, right? That's not just, that's an incredible role to have, is a support role. So today we have to be, us women, a supportive role. We have to be the CEO, right? We have to be the boss of every role we hold. So for me to say I'm a support role for my husband, that's huge. When you go to your kid's game and sit there in the bleachers and say cheer, 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 you're being supportive. That's a huge role. Why do you think kids are sometimes hurt that mommy or daddy can't be at that game? Not because they care for an audience. That's because we all are in need of that support. Yeah. And that's okay if mommy can't be there, because guess who else? You built that community. Now your home is greater. Tia Bobbi is going to be there, and she's your support role. Then their heart is not necessarily as broken anymore because their group has grown. So it's not just mom and dad and me. It's Tia T, Bobbi's there. Like we are your support. So they don't feel the sense of loss anymore, right? And to have that support role is extremely important. And it's not just a stay-at-home mom. It's not just a wife. I'm not just the friend. This is my support. This is my team. That's huge. That's huge. We all need that defense, not just the offense position in a game, right? And this is the game of life, and we all are out to win. There is no, we're a victim or a loss. Yes, we're a victim in certain situations, but I came out a winner. I'm still a good person. I still have my health. I still have, a huge group that's supportive of me and what I do and my mission. So I'm a winner, even though I lost this one game.
Yep. And just to answer one of the questions that we got in the comments from Lupita Guzman, if you're still on, she actually put, can you do more of these lives and post them? We're actually on live every Tuesday at noon Mountain Standard Time and then at 2 Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to jump on or go on either Tanya's or myself page. We'll definitely be posting our lives.
Mm-hmm. And they will be saved. So, Bobbi,
yeah.
A gift in this world and in our life. And thank you so much for saying yes today and being able.
I love you. This is so incredible. I hope you have me on again. I'm sorry if I was long-winded.
No, it's good.
In August. So mark your
all on. Sharon, I love you too. I see her in the audience. We're doing a retreat, right? I don't want to say a girls' retreat, but we're doing a retreat in August. The girls are.
retreat.
Let's do it. Sign me up. Sharon, I hope you sign up too. We'd love to reunite with people that we haven't seen in person. And, you know, I just have to say this before I wrap it up. I thank you, ladies, for taking the time out of your busy lives to do this and cultivate new relationships and strengthening the ones that we have. And most of all, I'm grateful for the friends that don't blame, right? Oh, you haven't called me or you haven't answered me, you haven't hung out with me in so long, because you understand and respect how busy life is. And when we do reconnect, it's as if nothing and no time has passed. So that is something I'm extremely grateful for. And I can't wait to see you girls in August. I think that's going to be such a fun retreat.
Yeah, I love doing things where it's like purpose-based too, because you feel like everybody can leave feeling more empowered and you gain something from it and you've added value, you know, versus just, oh, what's going on?
And,
Sorry.
and thank you,
Right?
Bobbi.
And if there's anything I could do for you ladies or anyone out there that's left on this live, if there's anything I could do, please feel free to reach me. You can DM. Forgive me if I don't reply right away. My child and I wrestle over the phone. So,
yeah. Bobbi, I wanted to thank you so much for getting on this live with us. You honestly really impacted my life today.
I love it.
All of us.
Taught me an amazing lesson that I'm excited to take home and implement with my own family. And I hope that somebody on our live was impacted as much as I was. Once again, thank you so much, Bobbi.
Gratitude to you, girls. Seriously. And thank you for everything you offer. I'll watch you again next week.
Yay! And remember, everybody on here, to every single day strive to elevate your mind, your life, and your business. Even that it is being a full-time mother and being the best at it you possibly can. Own your lane and do the best, and know that we are all here to support you. So until next week, we love you so much and thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Kisses, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.